I've gone right back to find the first thing you ever bought.
Oh, God. I have no idea.
How much do you contribute then as the drummer when that's happening? Do you
Absolutely fuck all. This is why you're in control of the edit. I'm 38.
20 quid on salt.
And I took it out and I put it on Tom Fletcher's head. Do you remember, Harry? You sent me a PowerPoint presentation of how you're going to take me on a date. Like, everything I do, I'm totally underqualified. And so it's like, fucking just wing it. Just don't overthink it. Just go for it.
Hello, welcome back. This is My Mate Bought a Toaster, the show that creates a life story from someone's online purchase history. And that someone today is the drummer, runner, father, dog owner, and all-round excellent human being, Harry Judd. Hello, Harry Judd.
Hello, Tom Price. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. We're both wearing black today.
We are, yeah. My wardrobe is so limited.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like every day when I think, I've got something to do today and I'll be on camera, what am I going to wear?
Yeah.
Black T-shirts is basically all I've got now.
So do you open the cupboard and there's just 14 black T-shirts?
I've got about 10 black T-shirts, one pink one that I actually put on. I thought, I'll wear my pink T-shirt. And I was like, I don't think, like, it's winter. I'm really like a bit pale. I'm not sure this pink's working for me.
The black's
like,
suiting you perfectly.
I went on a celebrity chase the other day.
Hello.
And I was like, shit, what am I going to wear? Like, this thing happens every time when I go on TV. I was like, what am I going to wear? And because
you're quite a sort of hoodie and jeans
jeans all day long.
You're a drummer.
I know.
You're not supposed to be a style icon.
The thing is, my bandmates are particularly two of them, like, are really stylish.
Which two are the stylish ones?
Danny and Dougie look amazing always, and Tom looks great too.
Fletcher's an absolute legend.
Yeah, Tom looks great. Like, but he wears like a suit. He always wears like a suit and a t-shirt, and with his glasses.
Nice to have a
yeah. He's got his glasses. He's got his look. Whereas I'm just like, fuck, what am I going to wear? And I went on Celebrity Chase and I just bought like a couple of jumpers that I've had for about 10 years, and I came out to record it, and Shane Ritchie was wearing a really nice suit. Kai from Strictly was wearing an even more fancy suit. Angela, forgotten her surname, was wearing like a sparkly Christmas dress, and I was wearing jumper and jeans, for fuck's sake.
Professionals, because they're professionals.
They're professionals. It's awful.
But this is quite useful, because if you are front and centre, a drummer, you can always just turn up and go, well, that's my... That's my...
Because annoying, clothes are expensive, though, so I don't... Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want to go on a TV show and have to buy a new top every time.
No.
I've been recycling the same stuff over and over.
Oh, is that right? If we dig into your TV
I guarantee you,
I
went for my... I went to get my pink corduroy Zara shirt, overshirt, for the chase. I thought, I can't. I've worn that on the wheel. I've worn that on the one show.
Does the shirt sort of look at you like an old tired horse who wants to take you once more, and you're like, no,
not today. I need at least a year off of you before.
All right, well, listen, talking of buying new products, we are inside your Amazon account right now, Harry, and I've gone right back to find the first thing you ever bought.
Oh, God. I have no idea.
That's the idea.
I think it's better that I didn't look, right?
Yeah, never swat up on this stuff.
Okay, cool.
This is a diary that you have, without realising it, being writing for the last 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And we're now going to go through it one entry at a time.
Okay.
7th of February 2011. 2011, okay. DW Steve Smith Smart Practice Pad.
Right,
so this is, I believe, some sort of knee pad.
It is a knee pad. I've still got that. I've still got it.
We're already learning. You hold on to stuff.
Yeah, it's in my... I've got in my drum cage at the studio. We each have a cage for all our equipment.
I see.
And I've got my...
Because you're rock and roll. Most people would have a locker. If you're in a rock and roll band, we've got a cage,
We've got a cage, man. No, we've got a studio and it's got cages down the side, and I've got a drum cage and my... Is it Steve Smith?
It is.
Yeah. Do you know what? I found that this year we were doing a gig. Where was it? It was Isle of Wight Festival. Green Day were headlining and we were playing main stage, Isle of Wight Festival. It was a big moment for us. And I found it in our little kind of backstage flight case that we take that has, I don't know, like painkillers, energy drinks, like tape, clothes, all kind of random stuff. And I found it in the bottom drawer. Wow. And I took it out and I put it on Tom Fletcher's head. Because it's got a strap. You can strap, so basically it goes on your knee and you can strap around your knee. And so I put it on Tom's head and clipped it under his chin and practice on his head.
Did it look like he'd had serious surgery?
Yeah,
or
he
something?
did. He did.
Just recovering. I love this idea that you've got this collective
flight case
of all your stuff. There's such you and your band, like this family thing. And we always know, bands always say, yeah, we're like a family. But when you describe that image of a flight case, it reminds me of going on holiday with my kids and wife, and we've got a giant suitcase with all everyone's crap's in it together because they are my family. And you describe that and I'm like, oh yeah, everyone's crap is in the same bag.
Yeah, we've got like candles for dressing rooms, like sliders for post-show comfort, stuff like that. Yeah.
What's it for? Is it a knee pad? What's it?
So it straps around your knee and it's a practice pad. So you can practice your rudiments, your technique, your kind of just working your hands out, and obviously it's not that noisy. I mean, it's a little bit noisy. You might hear that kind of thing. And it's just for practice. It's not actually that comfortable. My theory is I can have it at the tour bus, so I can sit on the tour bus, have this thing strapped to my knee, and kind of play, but it's not really that comfortable, so I don't use it that often.
Okay,
to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. 80 quid though, and
80 quid.
It's still there.
It's still there.
Are you? Obviously, you're a drummer, but have you always been a tapper? Were you the kid at school with the pen?
I think so. Yeah, I've always been quite kind of energetic and quite
fizzy.
Fizzy, that's the word. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why drumming kind of suited me. I find it quite find it very therapeutic. So I have practice pads dotted about, in my life. There's probably one in my bag today. And it's a very kind of therapeutic thing for me to do.
That's nice.
Yeah.
God, and it's your job.
It's my job, so it's handy.
Well, one of your jobs. There's lots of things going on with this guy. We'll find out more about the other jobs you've got going on, Harry, in a bit. All right, good. So that's a very on-brand start.
It is on brand. It's like I've somehow hacked into my account, but no, that's true story.
That's you. There you go. Right, that's 2011, and then we just move through to 2012. Nothing in 2012.
Nothing.
Yeah, that happens. 2013, 6 orders placed by you. So 2013 at this stage. Where are you at with McFly at this point? Is it like going crazy in 2013?
So 2013, we had just done 10 years anniversary, 4 nights at the Royal Albert Hall.
Okay.
And we had just recorded our 6th album in Texas on a pecan ranch.
Wow.
Which was really cool. That was on
a pecan ranch.
Yeah, or as the American guy that owned a pecan ranch.
But hang on, is that where they grow
pecans?
Nuts?
Yeah. He was like this really wealthy dude that owned a pecan ranch on
I never knew that you could get a nut ranch.
Yeah, and it was on the border of Mexico and Texas. I think.
Sure.
I think. And it's called Sonic Ranch. So that was the name of his studio. And this guy was an amazing dude. He was a pecan farmer, right? But he loved music, so he built a music studio on his ranch. And it became quite a sort of well-known spot for bands to go and record. And we went out there and recorded an album. It was epic, man. How
long did you go out there for if you're recording an album? How long does it take?
We were out there for about 5 or 6 weeks, I think.
That's ages.
Yeah, a long time, yeah.
That's ages.
Albums can take way longer to record than that. It depends what process you're at. We generally like to go into the studio when most of the songs are kind of written, at least most of the album.
Yeah, okay.
But often, when you're there, you might have a few more, jump out at you. So, God. Yeah.
How much do you contribute then as the drummer when that's happening? Do you
Absolutely fuck all.
Is that true?
No, it's not true. There's 4 of us, right? So I definitely do the least songwriting. It's not my thing. I've never really enjoyed it that much. With Tom, Danny, and Dougie write. They love it. They were born to be musicians. That's what they're brilliant at, and they spend hours and hours inside in a studio writing music, recording music. They love it. And whereas I, as we've established, have quite a sort of fidgety person. Yeah. I find it really hard to sit still in a studio without natural light, and just doesn't suit my personality. And so.
And they are understanding of that, and
and
I think quite a common thing for bands. The drummer's often like that, the bassist is often like that. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so. It's just dependent on the personality. I think there'll be plenty of bands where the drummers are songwriters. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I have obviously sat in many sessions over the years when things are happening. But often songwriting, it takes time and it's really boring. And I'm out.
That's why I've never written any songs, mate.
It's too boring.
I've clearly got the talent, and just not the patience.
And also, I think I don't get a huge amount of satisfaction from it. I just don't think it's sort of Yeah, and I don't ever try and force it. And in the early days of the band, they would literally just spend hours in our home studio, and I'd be out with mates.
That's great, though.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's cool. But so where I think I am quite good, though, to give myself some credit, is where it's helpful is that I often then will come in and they'll be like, oh, right, okay, Harry,
fresh pair of ears.
We've got these 2 songs, and where they're really generous, because it's a very personal thing, like being creative and writing stuff and people having opinions on it. They're very generous in that they allow me to have as many opinions as I like, and I will come in and they'll play me 3 songs and I'll say, that one's okay, these 2 are brilliant, but with this one, I think you need, the chorus should start here and you should put the middle 8 there.
Oh. And you're sort of you're writing the song, but just at a later
and
point.
I think that's where I am quite good, and they will give me credit for that. So I do appreciate that, and every now and again, I think so that's how I would contribute creatively, and every now and again, a few lyrics here and there.
Of course, listen, you're not taking the piss, but you are cleaning up piss. The 6th of September, 2013, you have bought a urine finder UV light. Urine off odour and stain remover for cats and kittens. And a urine off odour and stain remover spray for cats and kittens. I
was thinking, what the hell?
I like that this is happening, that we have you on a ranch in America writing music, playing the Royal Albert Hall after 10 years, but at the same time, you, like everyone else, cat piss is annoying.
Cat piss is the worst.
So that's what's happening here, I take it.
That is Morris. So we've had 2 cats, Murphy and Morris. Murphy died in 2018. Morris is on his last legs now, but he's still with us. Okay. But Morris went through a pissy stage. He did. He was really, God, it was annoying.
And it does smell as well.
Oh, man, it stinks.
Morris, what are you eating?
Morris loved to piss on the bed. Yeah, on the spare bed. I know.
Is it a territorial thing, or?
I don't know. I think what happened with Morris, he was a really sweet kitten, and then he had a middle ear infection. And I don't know if you've known a cat with a middle ear infection. We got home one day, and he was suddenly just like, huh? And his head was tilted, and one eye just disappeared. Yeah. And he had just a white eye, and he was on the tilt, and he was just like, I lost all his balance.
Oh my, that's dramatic and
terrifying. Really, and it was like, oh my God, this poor cat. And then I was on tour, I think, at the time, and Izzy called me and she was like, I've been to the vet and he has to have an operation to have this polyp removed or something.
Oh, Morris.
And I was like, oh yeah, of course. And she was like, it's $4,000 or something. And I was like, fuck that. I was like, I'm sorry, but I am not paying $4,000.
I'm coming home and I'm bringing my drumsticks.
And she was like, okay. Literally, I remember it so well. I stood outside a hotel in Manchester. She was like, okay, that's fine. Well, then you come home and take him to be put down. And I was like, okay, fine.
Vets know this.
Yeah.
Vets do a great job, but they know this when there are these numbers and people go, right, well, I'm going to sell some kidneys and obviously I'm not going to get this animal put down.
Oh my God.
But Morris is still going.
Morris, it was worth it.
She was right.
It was worth it. We now have children, and particularly my daughter, who's 8, absolutely loves Morris. So it was, and do you know what?
But does he still have the...
Do you know what? Do you know what I'm doing this afternoon, why I need to go?
Go on.
I'm doing a bit of sponsored work with Lily's Kitchen with Morris.
Oh, my.
So Morris...
He's a catfluencer.
He's a cat for the first time in his 13-year life. No, he's earning that money back.
Yeah, but hang on. Yeah. Has he still got the look? Has he
no,
still got the cross-eyed?
No,
the
head tilts back after the operation and his eye came back and he's really sweet.
God.
But the operation left him with like intense sort of like neurosis and 95% deaf. Okay. So his meow is so... Honestly, it's so loud. When I'm on the phone to people, he meows and they're like, oh my God, is everything all right? I'm like, yeah, that's just Morris. And like literally, I cannot describe how loud his meow is. And it's like, it's crazy.
These antisocial lodgers who we let into our lives and they park themselves in our hearts.
I know.
And at least you're making some money out of him. Yeah. Do you know what? He's earning back
He's earning back the three, maybe 4, I can't remember. And
thanks, Lily's Kitchen.
Yeah, and finally. So he's going to be in this afternoon having a photo shoot. I need to get back and groom him quickly before the photographer arrives. So there we go.
I am interested in the moment where you get a call from your wife and you're away and there's something wrong with the cat, and obviously you then went on to have kids, because I've always really struggled with that when I'm away from home and the dog or the kids are ill. I hate it. I feel so powerless to do stuff. Mm-hmm. Are you like that? Are you a bit of a home bird? Do you like to be at home looking after everyone, or do you love getting out onto the road?
Well, a bit of both. I mean, the cool about the cats, not it's he was fine, and with the cool about the kids is like awful. And thankfully, touch wood, I've only experienced that once. But I was in London. We were working somewhere.
Fine, so you were not far away,
and I was in a taxi straight to a hospital, so it's fine, and everything was fine. But I do like being at home. I love my family, but my God, I love it when I get to go on tour.
What's the best country to go on tour to?
Oh man, we are so lucky. We've been to loads of places. Our second biggest following is in Brazil.
So I interviewed Tom from Keane.
Yeah,
they're massive in South America.
Yeah, South America is an amazing place to go and play shows.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you do huge crowds?
Yeah, we do great. Yeah, great shows. We do. Wow. We're really lucky. And the good thing for us is when we kind of broke in Brazil.
Yeah.
Like we were on to our kind of third, fourth album. And our fourth album is a lot kind of, heavier. It's more of like a rock album. And so the perception of McFly out there is very different to what it is in the UK. Mm-hmm. So, out there, a lot of the fan base that we share fan bases with like Fall Out Boy and, My Chemical Romance and stuff like that. We're a kind of, so it's kind of nice for us. And you don't have the preconceptions, the pigeonholing. We don't have this individual celebrity out there either. We are just like this band, and so you can just go and be this band, and kind of feel like fully respected, and it's good. Do
you sometimes feel, because I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about McFly. No, I know obviously I know the singles and they're amazing, but I'm too old. I was too old when you guys
for sure
came through, but like you this idea of being disrespected.
Yeah.
You do hear people going McFly, like sort of kids band. So it's really interesting to hear that abroad you'll get treated with some, because you are like, I know people who went to see you guys at the O2 last year, and they said you were insanely brilliant. Like you are an incredible live band, but there's always something. Is it a British thing? I wonder, where they just go.
Well, I think what it is, if you look back at our first stuff, like I get it, like it's really,
so that first impression has just lasted for a lot of people.
And also it was like huge for us at the time. We were everything was number one, and we were just like the biggest pop band, and we were just everywhere on TV and magazines and everywhere.
Insane. How old were you at that stage?
When it broke, I was 18, so I joined the band when I was 17. So I get it, right? So if your impression of McFly is from those early days, and it's 5 colours in a hair, and obviously, and like I get it, people like McFly, really? But if you're a hardcore fan and you have all 7 of our albums, and you've seen the evolution of the band, and you've seen us live, and you know the deep cuts, not just the hits, and you've seen 5 Colours in a Hair as a live performance, not the original record, people get it.
Yeah.
So we have like male fans in their 20s who are like passionate McFly fans who are, know our entire back catalogue, are inspired to play the guitar because of us, and and they'll say, if I say to my mates, if someone says, "Oh, who's your favourite band?" and they'll say McFly, they'll say, people literally like, "What?
Yeah,
McFly? Are you
Does
mad?"
that bother you?
Not really, because I get it. Like, I get it, right? So I'm sure if I was in my 20s and I saw McFly come out at 17, 18, I'd be like, oh, God.
Yeah.
But it's so I get it, but I think I am sometimes like really passionate and wanting to like prove people wrong. But at the same time, I have to remember and appreciate what we still do have. Like, we can still, do 2 nights of the O2 and have all these passionate hardcore fans that know our backstory, know everything about us, and there's more to us. But your general member of the public will be like, "Oh yeah, McFly, what's that All About You song? Good tune that." Or now you have kids being like, "Who the fuck are they?" But so I can't really complain, but there obviously is a part of me sometimes when I'm with people, I'm like, okay, listen to this song, come to our show. You want to do the thing with them that you do when you go in the studio and they've made the songs. And go, look, just forget everything you think you know about that word, exactly. McFly, and just listen to that. Exactly. Like with our last album, which is our 7th album, I would, if people are like, "Oh, what should I listen to?" I'm like, listen to this album.
Okay.
And, like classic things, like when we were making it, some guy came in to fix the lights or something. He's like, "What's this? This is proper stuff. This is awesome." And we were like, "Oh, this is us." He's like, "What? This is McFly?" You get that now, and so. But look, I get it. It's fine. It's all good.
you're happy with your lot.
Yeah.
You're happy with your lot. It's a very good way to be. We'll find something that you're unhappy with. Don't worry. We'll get you ranting soon.
I'm in a good mood today, Tom.
Yeah, I know. I'll put you in a
Definitely.
good mood. I'll just keep you here long enough until you start to get grumpy. Then I'll get really tasty. So look, 2014, 2015, it goes very quiet. Harry.
Really?
And 16.
I was busy. That was McBusted. That question started from what were McFly doing? We were recording an album.
Yeah.
And things weren't that easy actually then. So 10 years in, you're like, fuck, sixth album. It's it's difficult. And then McBusted happened, which was a huge success, and that took the pressure off. So that's why I was busy. I wasn't ordering anything off Amazon.
I see. Because Amazon I've never seen this before, and it's quite unnerving. Thank God you haven't gone the whole way, but you don't order anything on Amazon for years.
Really?
Do you have a different account?
I wonder if I have a different account
because you basically according to this, you didn't buy anything in 2020, and that just can't. Everyone in the world
can't be right.
bought crap on Amazon in 2020, but that's fine because there's still plenty of stuff in here for us to get stuck into. So look, we've skipped through so much stuff here.
Well, I think what happened was I had a different email to an Amazon account, so whenever I went on a different device, I couldn't get on, and it was really annoying me. So I think maybe a couple of years ago, I reset it all.
I see. Fine.
Maybe,
okay.
but I wouldn't
Slightly scatty?
Oh, I'm very scatty.
Okay.
I mean, this morning, my wife was messaging me saying, where are Lockie's eye drops? Like my son.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit. I picked him up from nursery yesterday. And I was like, are they in my coat pocket? She's like, yes, they are. I found them. They're supposed to be in the fridge.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, that's me.
Do you know what it is? It's a lot, because I'm exactly the same. It's a lot like your other half is answering the final question on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for £1 million, and they're phoning a friend and it's you.
Yeah.
And I get that phone call from my wife 2 or 3 times a day. I hear the music go do-do-do-do-do-do.
Where are the eye drops? Are they still at the nursery?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can't find the key for the shed, and he needs his scooter, or he can't go to football.
Mate, I know.
Where is the key?
But do you know what? It's so true. But the good thing is my son is very similar to me, and obviously my wife is so sympathetic towards him. And now,
so when
now she's like, I understand you now. She's like, I get it. So today, she's like, it's okay, don't worry, I understand. Because I don't mean to.
No.
But I am just scatty, and I'm just off, tra-la-la,
How many kids have you got?
3. I know, it's...
You can't keep an eye on where the eye drops are. Do you know where the kids are? I mean, it's terrifying.
Dude, it's...
And you've got the dog.
And a dog. And Morris. Don't forget Morris the cat.
And Morris the cat.
Yeah.
And your drumsticks.
My
Do you know
drum
what I mean?
pad. I know.
No wonder you've only got black shirts.
Dude, it's...
If you started to throw in other options,
I know.
your head would explode.
It is a lot.
Listen, we're going to 2023 now, and this is quite an interesting sort of development for you, Harry, because you're not just a musician off of McFly. You're also doing a lot of presenting at the moment, and the One Show. You've done the One Show, of course. Yeah. You've got your brilliant podcast Binge with Alex Jones.
That's right.
And I can see where you're getting your inspiration from, because on the 12th of September 2023, you've bought From the Oast House, the Alan Partridge podcast, and all presenters, as a rite of passage. We have to understand that we're only ever going to be an echo of Alan Partridge.
Yeah, it's just impossible not to be.
In what we do. It is impossible not to be.
I am such a huge Partridge fan, and when I was presenting the One Show, Steve Coogan came on as a guest.
And
now I don't know if you've seen This Time, which is his most... Yeah, which is...
It's the One Show.
Basically the One Show. So it's when I was presenting the One Show, they had a cardboard cutout of Alan Partridge from his This Time kind of suit that he'd wear.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if this is a bit of a touchy subject, because he's essentially taking the piss out of the One Show. Yeah. And I was like, oh, can I take a selfie with the cutout? And they were like, no, don't. Let's not. Don't put that up.
Let's not invite that comparison.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, obviously the One Show's, it is great, but you can see...
Yeah.
This time,
surely the first question you ask is, where did you get the idea?
For this time, so he came on the show, and I was genuinely, starstruck and very excited. Yeah. And when I was interviewing him, I talked about the character, obviously Partridge, and I mentioned the Oast House, From the Oast House, his podcast, and I talked about his Alan's children. And talked about whether maybe he'd delve into more of that storyline, because I find it really quite sad how Fernando, how he doesn't have a relationship with his grandchildren. And I was like, it's a really touching part of the Alan Partridge story that I think you should not. I don't think I said this. I wasn't, suggesting writing ideas, but
you weren't pulling notes out of your pocket.
No, but I was like, I feel like you should delve into that, because you know how some of the recent great shows, for example, in The Office, you kind of hate David Brent. You love him, but you hate him. But then it's very clever, the writing, because then in the Christmas episode, even though he's such a dick, you feel really
crushing. You feel awful.
You feel awful. You feel really sorry for him.
Yeah.
And I think you get a similar feeling with Alan Partridge and his children and his not being able to meet his grandchildren that you hear in the OSAD. Yeah. And he was just like looking at me and he went, "You need to get out more."
Really?
And I was like, okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I mean,
that could have been such a crossroads moment. Imagine if he'd gone, "Do you want to come and do some
writing,
some script development with me?" Who's this? I've got Harry from McFly to come and do
I know.
some plotting.
Look, they're in a pigeonhole. I know what you're thinking. What, McFly? Yeah. Anyway,
it's always nerve-wracking to meet your heroes.
It is
in that situation.
But I wasn't too fussed about meeting him because I just love everything he's done with Partridge. So I just, but I would have loved to have had more time to just really nerd out.
Yeah, those are the things often when you're doing those interviews. That's why podcasts are such a joy. When you're doing those interviews with people, you only have a few minutes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's very policed.
Very policed.
How was doing the one show then? Because you did quite a few episodes.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was. I got asked to do it, and I was like, really?
Quite random. To be asked to do it. What had you done to alert yourself to them?
Not much. So Matt Baker left, and then I think they were looking to try out presenters, and they were just having so many different people come in, and I don't know. I think my manager was having a conversation with them, and they said, "Yeah, okay, let's try them out." And I was properly like thrown in the deep end. Obviously, I've been on TV a lot, and I find it quite easy being interviewed because you just chat, right?
Yeah.
And
terrifying.
Terrifying.
I'm a presenter.
Yeah,
that's terrifying. It's the
absolutely
biggest show.
terrifying. Yeah, we kind of did a dress rehearsal, a script meeting.
Hang on.
Yeah.
So you're doing the one show.
Yeah.
And is this your first live presenting?
First live presenting. Yeah.
You're rocking with Alex.
With Alex Jones. Yeah. And I think all I did in preparation was I went there the week before to watch a live show. So I watched Alex and whoever it was presenting.
And did you watch it and think, yeah, I got this?
I know. I don't know what I thought. I just like everything I do, I'm totally underqualified. And so it's like, fucking just wing it. Just don't overthink it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like no one really cares that much. Right. No. And so, of course, it's a massive opportunity and a big deal. But the way I kind of deal with things is to not overthink it and just try not to panic about it. Because
it will never help you. The panic will never help you.
No, and the fact is, when they are going like, okay, have a good show, everyone. We're live in 10. I absolutely panicked.
Did you?
Yeah, of course. Like I was like, don't pre-panic because you're going to panic anyway. So don't. So, and it's all about just faking it, right? And I'm there with an earpiece for the first time.
Have you got earpieces? I've done a bit of presenting, right? Yeah. Earpieces, you can either get them closed where they'll come in and go, "Oh, hi, Tom."
Yeah, closed. I had it closed.
So you had it closed.
I had it closed. Oh, so for people,
or you can have it open where it's just constant.
Where the whole gallery of producers and editors, they're all talking. Plus, you're trying to listen to your co-host and your guest.
Yeah.
So I had it closed. But I didn't really know what any of that meant. I just had an earpiece, and you've got the auto cue, and I'm like, sometimes a bit rubbish at reading and like do the old park arc thing, what's car park, a spoonerism, which Alan Partridge throws in the Oast House a lot, but doesn't pick up on it. Like he did there's one on This Time I saw recently where he goes, tash hag me too, but doesn't like reference it. It's very funny. And so I'll do shit like that without meaning to. And so I was a little bit nervous about stumbling on my words, but yeah, literally, you do the run through, and I'm trying to come across like I'm absolutely fine and totally cool and calm. And Alex is chatting away to me, and I'm like, yeah, just chatting. We're on in, how long are we on? 5 minutes? Sure. Anyway, tell me. Whereas I'm actually wanting to just look at the scripts and just read it over and over again. So I'm trying to stay calm, and then in your ear, it's like, okay, guys, have a good show. Good luck, Harry. You'll be fine. Just relax, be yourself. And we're live in 5.
That's a bit I hate.
Oh my! I'm like, I want to just like run away or just be like, ah! And
you go live.
And it's go live, and it's like, good evening and welcome to the One Show. I'm Harry Judd and I'm Alex Jones. On tonight's show, you're there, you're reading, and your heart's going, bonk, bonk, bonk.
But it's obviously very auto-cued up, right?
It is.
So you do a lot of reading.
You do, but you try and come up, like, look away from the auto-cue, but then you do that and you look back and you're like, shit, where's my line?
Oh, mate.
It was hard, but I think...
Who are you channeling at this point? Because there's a part of you, obviously, you've played huge venues, huge arenas, you've got loads of fans.
Yeah.
So you don't seem to have what I like about you, Harry. I don't get any sense from you that you need any validation, or at least not on the surface. You seem very chilled on the surface. And I'm just wondering, who are you channeling when you're doing a thing which I would be so desperate to impress, but you're just stepping back from the ball a little bit? Where's that come from? Who is that guy?
I don't know. I think I've always probably wanted to impress anyone. I've always, particularly when I was younger, I've always, I was liked attention and liked doing stuff and being in front of camera. I think doing the one show definitely exposed me, and I was very nervous and felt very insecure about it.
Okay.
But I
was about to say good
to know. But no, I definitely was nervous and wanted to impress for sure. Okay. But I felt like I have to just be calm and just,
That's a strong inner voice that goes,
just be calm. Don't try too hard. Yeah. Don't be too
Yeah, that's what I would do. Like when Chris Evans did it. Oh, mate.
Don't be too over the top. And I think that was, so I'd done, the first thing I'd done outside of McFly where it was just me was when I did Strictly. And when I watched things, so with Strictly, I was very much like, don't try and be funny. Like amongst your friends, you're funny. Like you think you're funny, but being funny on TV with an audience when you got Bruce Forsyth stood there, who's, and all these actual comedians doing the show with you. Yeah. Don't try and be funny. Just be polite, and be yourself. Just relax. And that kind of worked well for me. I mean, I was arguably a bit boring at times, but
you won Strictly.
Yeah, but that was like, okay, don't try. And then, but when you feel like something's natural and you want to say it, go for it, but don't try too hard. And I think with the one show stuff, I mean, look, I do stuff the whole time with other people where I think, oh my God, they're so good. They're so articulate. They're so funny. They're so relaxed.
Well, it's nice to see you again.
And I'm,
but you don't, because we hosted together on radio, and what I was saying is so important is you don't walk away with regrets from those things. So from the one show, because you don't do it anymore, do you?
No, I don't do it anymore, no.
Did you walk away from doing the shows and feel like, what did I get wrong? Do you know what I mean? Was there
I think naturally you do. I mean, I was lucky in that I did it for a couple of years, so I was basically like, it's the way I saw it, was like a dep, a sort of stand-in.
You were standing for Ronan Keating.
I was standing for Ronan Keating.
On the one show, and I was a stand-in for Ronan Keating on Magic Breakfast.
Yeah.
So you're listening to two of Ronan's deps here. This is hilarious. If Ronan Keating walked in the room, you and I would, by definition, have to leave.
Yeah, we would,
because he'd be here.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a funny coincidence that we when we realised that. But they kept asking me back, and which was great. And I did a run of shows, and then suddenly one day that was that. I think they got a new couple of people that they signed up, and.
Do they tell you when it's over?
No, but that's fine. I think it's it's obviously a much bigger thing than me, and I think my only regret maybe would be I could have probably done more prep, but I think my attitude of like don't overthink it, just be yourself, relax was right. But then also, I think maybe I wasn't improving as much as I could have done. But
the prep is difficult. You can definitely watch back afterwards. But
I hate watching myself, though.
You should do more of that.
Yeah, I know everyone says that.
Everyone says that. Same with radio. Yeah. Listen back. I mean, I edit this podcast, so I listen back and just edit 90% of what I say.
It's horrible, isn't
I know, 90% of what I say is gone, guys. You're just getting the good bit. But when
it's not even that good.
It's not even that good. When I watch it back, it's to say, when I listen back to radio, you have to face certain things about yourself, which is useful. But I would never over-prepare. Because there's a very good reason why, and if you have a similar brain to me, you just spend your whole time on camera trying to remember stuff.
Yeah.
That's useless.
One of the hardest things about live TV is thinking, what is my face doing? Let alone what am I saying?
Yeah.
Am I smiling naturally? That, that's
What's your
funny.
Can you give us obviously this show is filmed, so you'll have to go to our YouTube to see this, but can you give us, Harry, your one show smile?
One show smile? Yeah. Okay.
It's good. He's owning the sofa.
So here's a good tip for you that I've done for years.
Yeah.
Is when we're stood on the red carpet or doing something like that, the amount of times you're filming something and they'll say, okay, just straight down to the lens and give us a smile, right? Really, it's really awkward, man. So what I do is I think of one of my friends who is that friend that just his face makes you laugh, right?
That's good.
And I just see him in the lens every time, and it just makes me smile. Because I just think of him and his shoulders, like it's his friend I've been had for like since we were 8, and I just think of him and it just makes me smile.
That's sweet. Does he know that?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm laughing at him.
Of course,
But
obviously. that's what your friendship is built on.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
lovely. Oh my God, that's heartwarming. So Harry, if you ever fall out,
with him.
with
No,
him.
it's impossible.
Suddenly, all these shots to camera, you'll just be like,
Gang.
furious. All right, here's what we're going to do then. We're going to crash on through to 2024 now.
Yeah.
Okay, and loads and loads of things being bought. The year starts with, and this definitely tells us where you're at, School of Rock with Jack Black on Prime Video on the 18th of February.
18th of February. So that is for my son, Kit, who is 7 years old, who is obsessed with the guitar and bands and McFly and Green Day. And so when I suddenly remembered, oh my God, School of Rock, it's the perfect film. And he's watched that probably 1,000 times. So.
Is your son into your band?
Yeah, he absolutely, he still thinks we're cool.
There
will be a day where he realises.
Don't think about that day.
No, I'm just enjoying it.
Enjoy that for now.
Yeah.
God, I wish I could
really
get my son into podcasts about Amazon purchase history. I wish he could be proud of me. That's beautiful.
It's one of the coolest things. He, and of course, my daughter loves it as well. My other son's only 3, but he's already like, this is cool.
It's because you play nothing but McFly in your house the whole time.
No.
Alexa, play McFly.
But Kit, my 7-year-old, if he could, he'd come to every single one of our gigs. And so throughout the summer, he comes to a lot of our festivals and summer shows because we're not on tour. We'll do like maybe 2 shows, then go home for a week and then do a show and then whatever. So he can come with me. And
you're living this sort of rock star veteran's life, even though you're only 40 or whatever.
Yeah, it's 38 actually.
38. That's the quickest response you've had to anything I've done. 38. But it's true. It's
and he stands side of stage with his guitar on and plays along for the whole gig, and he is just mad for it. And he did rock school this week at half term. He did his first gig at Pizza Express. He spends half his life just in his bedroom playing guitar. He's totally into it, so it's really cool.
That is so lovely.
Yeah, he's really good, man.
Great dadding, mate. That's such good dadding. Stabilizers for kids' bikes. Here we go. Look.
So Lockie, my youngest, was stabilizers off at 2.5.
He sounds like you.
So he was
literally,
mate, I was on my proudest things, like cycling around the park with him and waiting for people to look at him and go, and people go, oh my God, how old is he? Me, 2, just 2. Yeah, 2. And then seeing like that.
Excuse me. So they're not looking. He's 2?
He's 2.
I know, it's weird. They're not
so
looking.
the thing is now he's 3 and people still are like, oh my God, he's a bit young, isn't he? I'm like, yeah, but he was doing that when he was 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many times around the park?
Yeah,
we should mic you up and just hear how many times you go, he was doing when he was 2.
He did a 5K bike ride with me whilst I was having a run when he was 2.
What, with no stabilizers?
No stabilizers, yeah. Crazy.
So you're very into your running.
Yeah.
You have to be physically fit to be a drummer, famously, of course.
Yes.
That goes right back to school, does it? Is that something you've always been
I've always loved sport. Absolutely loved sport. It was kind of what I did. I wasn't very good academically, but I did a lot of sport.
What sport did you play? Were you a rugby boy?
I did rugby. I'm exposing myself for being a posh boy.
It's incredible.
Did
Only
rugby,
in the UK.
hockey.
Yeah, there we go.
But cricket was my main sport.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that was the one I was good at.
Yeah. All the egalitarian sports.
Yeah, that was the one
the
I
sports
was.
of the oppressors. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. It's so funny, isn't it? How only in Britain have we codified sport to be red flags for class.
So
the number of people who say very shamefacedly, like I played a lot of hockey.
Played a lot of hockey.
Tell me more about your skiing holiday.
Whistler. Whistler, 1995.
Did you go to posh school? You went to posh school?
Yeah, posh school. Yeah, I did.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school prep school in Suffolk. I went to boarding school from the age of 8. I think we talked about this. And I went then to a school called Uppingham. Which was my secondary school. Yeah, great school, amazing school. Very lucky. Very lucky boy. Didn't know how lucky I was until I kind of left school.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame your parents didn't love you enough to live at home, but still nice.
No, but now I have kids, I get it. I'm like, full boarding.
So this is the big crux question.
Yes.
I went to boarding school a bit later on at 14,
yeah,
which I think is a very different prospect to when you're 8.
Yes.
Would you send your kids to boarding school?
Well, my daughter's my eldest, and she's made it. First of all, no, I wouldn't.
Right.
But she definitely doesn't want to, because she knows I went, and she's like, Daddy, you're not going to send me to boarding school. I'm like, no, darling, definitely not.
But it's a good threat to keep.
It is definitely a good threat.
Start calling the fake phone call that grown-ups do. Hello, you've got a space in the big cold dorm. Okay.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I think for me, I kind of want that sort of family vibes, come home from school and what have you. But I could see it being like a potential when they're teenagers, maybe. Like, it depends what school they go to, obviously. But now it's more of like a flexi boarding situation, and we've looked around a school that for their future that does do boarding, and a lot of the teachers at these schools say, look, you find that a lot of the kids want to do boarding, and if they don't, they kind of feel like they're missing out a bit. So I loved it. And
did you want to do boarding at 8 years old?
No, I didn't know. I just did what I was told. That's the thing I can't even remember. It was just like, you're going to this school. It was like, oh, okay, fine.
And then how long would you go without seeing your parents?
3 weeks at a time.
Okay, all right. That's not
3 weeks,
monstrous.
and then you'd have an exeat weekend, so you'd have 2 days at home, and then another 3 weeks, then half term. No, look, it was fine. I remember it very clearly, but it wasn't great for everyone. But when people ask me, I think the thing is, people don't like school regardless of whether it's boarding or not.
Yes.
And I think the people that didn't like school would have really not liked boarding school as well. I liked school because I was sociable, I loved sport, and I just liked being around people.
It really either works for people or it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
The only question mark I have, because I very much feel like it worked for me, but recently I've started to think about, did it work? Because emotionally, things happen when you're at boarding school, and you do need to have a family member to talk to about it or whatever. And sometimes at school, it creates this crush it down, push it away. Don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is something which I thought, oh, interesting, because I've always been like, I've got to love boarding school. It's great. I loved it. But recently I've started to think, oh no, there was a lot. I can remember at 15, 16, just being in at 6 p.m. and stuff was going on, and I didn't have anyone to talk to. And at the time I thought, well, that's fine. And now I'm like, no, that was probably not great.
No, I think you're right. And I think I'm still learning about myself or trying to understand the way I react and behave to things. But as a teenager, you just don't, and you just you do what feels right at the time. But I think where I feel lucky, I was confident, right? So so I didn't I enjoyed school, but the way I was at school, definitely I reacted differently to joining a band and having fame, differently to what I think what a lot of people would have expected from me.
Tell me everything.
Because I'm sure people at school who knew me would accuse me of maybe being a bit like, cocky, a bit arrogant, and that's probably true, and that's okay. But actually, when I joined a band and you suddenly are getting recognised and you have fame, the way I responded was wanting people to like me. I wasn't just like sort of cocky and just like whatever. I was very like insecure and wanted to go out of my way to make sure people knew I was like a nice, normal guy, and got more satisfaction from people being like, oh, he's actually all right, because people just would assume that you're a dick.
Because of your upbringing?
Because you're famous and you're in McFly and you're on the TV. But
when you were at school, because when you're a sixth former at a boarding school, you are a bit of a celebrity in the school.
Yeah.
Did you care about what younger kids thought about you then? Were you like...
Yeah, I just wasn't as aware. I always got on and had time for people. Like, I don't think I was that bad, but I'm sure, I know there were people that would have really disliked me.
Of course, but yeah. But
I know I was always friendly with younger kids at the school, and but you look back and you think, God, like, you know what? I was doing a recording of Binge, the podcast I do with Alex Jones, which you should listen to first. So pause the episode of this now, go listen to Binge, and then come back to this.
Do listen to it. It's very good. He likes sitting on sofas with Welsh people.
We had Pandora Sykes on, who is she's had a successful podcast herself. She's like a book reviewer. She's great. And I've known her. So we had her on as a guest, and Alex Jones, my co-host, is a big fan of Pandora. She's like, oh, I'm so excited we've got Pandora on. And I was like, oh, I actually know Pandora. I've known her since I was like 13. And she was like, no way. And I was like, yeah, just the same sort of group of friends and, similar schools and stuff. And so I said, hi, Pandora, how are you? She was on Zoom. She was like, yeah, good. And I was like, oh, me and Pandora go way back. And she was like, yeah, that's right. She said, do you remember, Harry, you sent me a PowerPoint presentation via email of how you're going to take me on a date and what's going to happen and what we're going to do.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God, you cocky shit. I was like, I can't believe I did that. I was like, but kind of funny. Like,
did it work?
Yeah, well, I think we did. We kind of, whatever, when you're like 15.
Yeah,
we did kiss or whatever. But wow. But I remember being, and she was like, no, you were very confident. And I was thinking yesterday, I was like, I'm not like that anymore. I'm like, I think I lost being suddenly famous and being exposed. Like, I think it knocked my confidence a bit and made me feel more self-aware and self-conscious and like, you know, and really, really conscious of, what people think of you. Do they like, you know?
I tell you what's really interesting and heartening is, you know, we all know stories, especially recently, about people in boy bands, right? And people in those bands can suffer horribly, right? Which is something which has been in a lot of press recently. Tragic death of Liam Payne. And other people in bands talking about their sadness. Robbie Williams did a whole thing about it. There's loads of examples of it. But you guys, and I'm not going to pry into anything with you guys, but it feels like you've got each other and it feels healthier. And I wonder why, because you had everyone looking at you.
Yeah, we've all had our things for sure, and we've all talked about that, definitely. But I think the thing with McFly is that we are just like really close friends. 95% of our time in McFly is spent just taking the piss out of each other and just laughing. We get on so well, and we are just mates who take the piss out of each other, and just try and keep our feet on the ground, and just we take what we do seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. And I think that's the kind of key to having fun in this industry.
A PowerPoint presentation.
I know, what the fuck.
Who needs a chat
I mean, I was like, I've
got a TED talk for you.
I was driving home and I was like, actually, I'm all right. I'm quite proud of that. I was like, I was.
Part of you missed that.
I was a
idiot.
very cocky, guy, and like, I guess so. But I then realised I actually do maybe cared too much about what people think. But I'm trying to get rid of that now, and that happens in all sorts of environments, in interviews and being on TV. It's like, who cares what people think, man? Just fucking who cares? That's what I'll be telling my kids.
It's so important.
Because confidence is a really key attribute to life, and fake it until you make it, and all those kind of standard stereotypical pieces of advice. It's so true. It's
all in it.
It's all in it, and it's being able to look someone in the eye and just be confident and be friendly and polite and interested in other people. And those are the most important skills to take into like young adulthood, and far more important than like shit that you learn at uni and stuff, which is obviously important. But
so no, it's so true. Of course, it's so true. But if you can do a PowerPoint, that does help.
It does help, yeah. Microsoft Paint.
So, all right, look, we are getting into the last few minutes together. Okay, so we're still in 2024. We've got a bike cover for 2 bikes, lovely waterproof bike cover. We've got Pure Flourish salt, Celtic salt, 500 grams of Celtic salt, 20 quid on salt.
I was...
Why? How is that?
I was heavily influenced there. So like up on my TikTok algorithm,
here we
like,
go.
you know, like influencers, like runners, right, being like,
yeah,
if you guys are having normal table salt, the best way to hydrate is to take a pinch of Celtic salt and put it in your water. And so I was like, oh my God, I need some Celtic salt, quick.
I mean, this is why you should have listened more at school. Salt is salt is salt.
Not Celtic salt.
Oh, please.
Don't ask me why, Tom.
A vital blend of 82 minerals, coarse light grey. Do you notice any difference at all when you use Celtic salt? Is this to rehydrate after a run?
Rehydrate after a run.
Because you're very serious about your running.
I'm very serious, yeah.
What's the longest?
It's become 90% of my personality. I'm an absolute bore. I'm not sure you want to go down this.
It's amazing.
Do you want to open this door?
We've done most of the podcast and we've only just stumbled across the running. Has that been with you throughout then? Have you?
No, I've always, like I said, always been into sport, and then joined McFly, did no sport, just had lots of fun and did stupid shit until I was about 25, and then got back into kind of fitness and really enjoyed just getting fit and going to the gym and stuff, and then beginning of lockdown, so I'll go for some runs. I'd done a couple of marathons but hadn't carried on running. I then got into running around lockdown, really got quite obsessed with it. Like,
are you quite intense? Do you punish yourself? Are you quite
I'm one of those. I like
a thrower upper.
I rarely throw up actually, but because that, for me, that's more to do with like nutrition and eating at the right time. So like the 1 or 2 times I have thrown up because I ate too close to a hard run. But
is that right? So do you eat before you go for a run then? No.
If I'm doing a fast run, like a session, an interval session or a tempo run or something like that.
You've got different types of runs.
Yes.
I'm very much at the point where I go for a run.
No, I don't just go for a run. So I'm really deep into the world of running. So I will have to eat at least 2.5 hours before a hard session.
What's a hard session?
Intervals or tempo, or when I'm training for a marathon, like doing some marathon pace work, or And
do you have someone there barking at you, or do you just go and do it yourself?
No, I
have
do.
Your kid on the bike just next to you. Come on, Daddy.
So Kit comes with me a lot. He's 7. Maybe 1 or 2 times a week he'll come out on the bike. it's a good way of like getting him out of the house, and me saying to my wife, I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to take Kit with me.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, fine. Childcare.
Clever.
Very clever. I've got a couple of really good mates that are really into it as well. One who lives like 5 minutes from me. So we run probably 3-4 times a week together.
Oh, that's nice.
So we go through the pain together. We're very similar. We both like going into the pain cave. And
is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't enjoy it when I'm in it, but it's this weird thing that makes me feel like I've achieved something, like I'm kind of, it's like self-improvement without having to do any therapy or anything. You can just like,
it's much cheaper than therapy.
Much cheaper. I really enjoy it. I run maybe 4 or 5 times a week.
How long do you stay in the pain cave for? How long are you in pain for?
Well, a lot of running, the good thing when you get more into it is you realise a lot of the effective running and improvement is done by staying in zone 2. So easy running.
Much like London. Stay in zone 2, guys.
So
this is amazing. Go on.
So you should be able to have a conversation when you're running. So run at a conversational pace. So a lot of that is the way of actually building your kind of aerobic fitness and improving. So I'd say twice a week I'll do really hard bits of interval running.
But that's very encouraging to hear that you can actually get good stuff done if you stay at conversational pace.
Absolutely. You can do that for months on end and not go above a heart rate of 140, 145.
And you're still doing good things.
Really increase your fitness.
Okay, good, fine. Thank you for giving something to us mere running mortals there. Because I cannot take it as seriously as
I
that.
just did Amsterdam Marathon and I'm doing London next. Basically the goal, I want to go sub 3.
Yeah.
So
what are you at the moment?
3:10. I'm 3:10 at the moment.
Isn't Berlin the one to get sub 3? Because that's the easiest one, isn't it?
I think that is an easier one. Yeah, Berlin's one of the fastest, but I've got London next. So
exciting.
Yeah, exciting.
Okay, fine. All right. So he's a drummer. He's a runner. He's got bikes. He's got all sorts of stuff. As we go through your last few things in 2024. So this is this year's purchasing. We've got. There's wires, a 2-piece mini jack to jack adapter. You've got a guitar pick necklace. There's rock and roll.
That's for kids.
But what I love is there's sort of parenting. There's rock and roll, and then there's freshly cut grass. NutriHaze professional artificial grass cleaner.
Yes. So we got a dog. Yeah. We have our garden, and the grass was average at best.
Right.
Really shady patch that was just kind of mud. And I really wanted to. I'm at that age where I really take great pride in my lawn, and I want to mow the lawn, but I just don't have the time. No. And I got a guy over to talk to me about the lawn and like how can I improve my lawn. And then
you got a man. In your diary, did it say lawn meeting?
I googled West London lawn specialist.
So Spinal Tap.
And a few things came up, and it was like, okay, this guy looks good. So he came over. And bear in mind, we just got the puppy, and he was digging up the lawn.
Having the time of his life, mate.
Yes, and I was like, my garden is fucking ruined. And there's this mud coming into the house. And I was like, I'm not getting artificial grass because I just want a nice one. And then he was like, look, trust me, you're in a clay-based area near the river here. Yeah. I was like, sure. I don't know what that means, but I'm not going to ask him. I was like, oh, is it clay? Yes or no? I knew that.
Okay, fine.
For sure. And very shady, east-facing. That patch is always going to struggle. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I ended up getting artificial grass.
You went artificial?
Yes, I went artificial, yes. I know it's bad for the environment, but we've got trees in our garden, other bits of shrubbery.
Are they real trees? Or?
They're real trees.
Okay, great.
We have 15 artificial birch trees. No, we have real trees, and the dog can piss on the grass, and it's porous, and it just goes straight through. He can run around. And also, if you're a nice day in the winter, the kids can just run around outside and not be covered in mud.
I get it.
But when he pees on the artificial grass,
stinks.
It fucking stinks. So I had to order some of that stuff.
Yes.
So I spray that on the grass to keep. Oh shit.
Oh hello. God, the studio's
That's fine. It's my phone. I spray that on the grass maybe fortnightly to keep it smelling okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes you go outside and clean your grass.
Yeah, I can clean my grass.
Just gonna nip out and rinse the grass.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people have artificial grass who hoover their grass. I don't go that far.
Oh please.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
My God, hoovering the grass.
Yeah.
All right, Harry, so we are getting towards the end of our time together. And, there's one thing which keeps popping up.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting one. There's fitness, there's grass stuff, there's fake grass. The CLQ Moisture Surge F25, it's a Clinique
My moisturiser.
A moisturiser.
Yes.
I see it a lot. You've got good skin.
So
For someone who's 42, it's really looking like...
Fuck off, Nick. This is why you're in control of the edit. I'm 38. I'm 38. I'm 38.
All gone. Yeah, so you've got and a bed head for men as well.
Yes.
So there's a little bit of self-care in there.
There's a bit of self-care. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a little maintenance in the garden and the face. I, as I said, I'm in a band. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Do the drums.
And I play the drums. And I share a band with one chap called Dougie Pointer, who doesn't seem to fucking age and just looks sensational. And one day we were on tour and I went into his hotel room and I was like, dude, I need to check out your skincare routine because your skin is sensational.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay. So he uses that Clinique moisturizer stuff. And he uses something else. Some serum thing.
Okay.
Ordinary, I think it's called. So I ordered that serum and I ordered that moisturizer, and now I try and use that every day.
And does it, because the problem with skincare is that you're putting tiny deposits for a very far distant future payday.
Yes.
It's not like you.
That's why I'm not that routine with it. I'm not very. I'm quite scatty, so I struggle with skincare routine.
Right.
I will often be like, I'd just be able to get a bit of moisturizer on.
Yeah. So have you noticed any difference yet?
No.
Fine. Good to know.
Absolutely
good
not.
to know. But worth doing.
I don't know, but I mean, I'm getting to the age where I look at myself and I'm like, shit, look at that. Like, it's here. I think it's a good thing because I smile a lot, but I think
it's great.
I've got some major like wrinkles going on here, and so yeah, every now and again I see a photo and I'm like, I've got to keep using that moisturizer.
Listen, you're not going bald. Your skin looks great.
Okay, am I right?
What you can do, what you've always got, which is the safety net that all men go to as they get into their 40s, as you are doing now, is to get the beard up and running to cover the jowls.
Yes.
You get the beard on there.
Yeah.
You strap that on and you're going to be absolutely fine.
Okay, the beard's there.
Yeah.
There's some grey in the beard, which is fine. Some people like the salt and pepper look. I feel like I maybe appeal to, a more niche audience of McFly members, so that's okay. We've got everything covered.
As long as
Tom's
you've
got
your
the
audience.
Harry Potter fans.
Yes,
Dougie
nice.
and Danny have got everyone else, and then I've got a couple of grannies that watched me on Strictly, so it's all good.
He's very popular on the granny forums, aka Facebook. Listen, Harry, this has been great to talk to you. We've started with a drum practicing device in your cage, and you've ended spending time in your pain cave, and in between. It's been a wonderful tour around Harry Judd.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, mate. Thank you for coming.
What a
and doing
great
this.
idea for a podcast.
That's very kind of you to say.
There's so many now, so I think this one's worth keeping, though.
I think so. I think I'll keep doing it. What I'd love is for it to be featured on. If you know any podcasts that look at podcasts or TV shows,
recommends podcasts.
That recommends podcasts.
Yeah.
If you know one that does that,
I can't think of one that comes to mind.
Called Binge or something like that.
No.
You don't know that anything? No.
No, I'll have a think.
Yeah. No, if you do, that'd be because
Would you like to come on and be a guest?
I would actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you've said that, we've recorded it, you've got to do that.
I didn't say, would you like to? I didn't say, can you come on and be a guest? Would you like to? Would you like to?
Yes, I would like to.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would like to.
Oh, God, it's like that PowerPoint all over again. Schoolboy Harry. Harry, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's my made water toaster. Oh, it's my made water toaster. Yeah, my made water toaster. Oh, toaster for my Lord, thank God, toaster.